You're welcome back to Afia TV's conversation segment for tonight, and we're talking about the Nigeria-India relations, the possibilities and the ties relating to the visit of the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The Prime Minister visited Nigeria on the first state visit by an Indian Prime Minister to the African nation in 17 years. Prime Minister Modi held talks with President Tinubu to review the diplomatic and strategic partnership between New Delhi and Abuja, and had to strengthen bilateral ties between the two countries. The India-Nigeria relations can be traced to ancient times, and Nigeria is host to a long-established Indian diaspora. On Modi's visit, both countries have pledged to strengthen ties in key areas including economic development, defense, healthcare, and food security, among others. Tinubu and Modi jointly presided over expanded bilateral and political talk, and during their bilateral discussion, the two leaders agreed to a greater collaboration in counter-terrorism, maritime security, and intelligence sharing. Modi reiterated India's readiness to support Nigeria's defense modernization efforts, highlighting India's emergence as a trusted defense manufacturer. Nigeria, which has Africa's largest population, wants to attract more Indian investment and favorable loans to boost its economy and create jobs. The effort seems to be working. At last year's G20 summit, Nigeria secured almost $14 billion in investment promises from Indian companies. One major deal involves Jindal Steel and Power, which plans to invest $3 billion in Nigeria's steel industry. Indian businesses already have a strong presence in Nigeria, with over 200 companies operating here in Nigeria. Well, joining me now to discuss further is Shantanu Bansal, and he's the founder of Indian Aerospace Defense News, IADN, India's leading defense and strategic news portal. Good evening, Bansal, and welcome to Afia TV tonight.
Thank you for having me here.
All right. So now, beyond the politics and the talks, right, of course, Nigeria is home to the largest Indian diaspora who are professionals in different fields and the various business interests that are here. Why do you think it took Prime Minister Modi 17 years to make this state visit?
You know, it's just a matter of fact that it took 17 years. But believe me, India-Nigeria relations are of a top priority here, especially after the push of Prime Minister Modi for Global South Partnership. Nigeria has become a great destination for India to put their endeavors in that direction. From the starting of the 1960s, we have developed a great relationship with Nigeria. The first Prime Minister being visiting to Nigeria was in 1962 by Jawaharlal Nehru. Then the Prime Minister Manmohan Singh visited in 2007, where he declared Abuja Declaration of Strategic Partnership, providing that India is now among the top 5 trade partners of Nigeria. About 200 Indian businesses are established there. About 50 to 60,000 Indians are already there residing in Nigeria, the largest all-Indian population in the West Africa, and later on the whole of the Africa region. I believe India has invested more than $2.7 billion in doing business with Nigeria, and in nowhere we believe that Nigeria, at the behest of the foreign relations, that it is being put somewhere in the left, right?
Leaders, of course, have discussed ties and how we can both benefit economically. Now, do you think India will develop ease of business for foreign interests, considering that here in Nigeria, we have about 200 Indian companies, and India is the second largest employer of labor here, owing to the amount of companies that are established here in this country. Now, do you see a vice versa with this hand of friendship that has been stretched out by the Prime Minister?
Of course, the Indian partnership when it comes to business and establishing businesses there and providing industrial development to the Nigerian as a country. I believe we have put a lot of strides in that direction, and Indian businessmen are really been a great asset, I believe, to Nigeria. And since 1960s, I believe we are providing training, health, engineering expertise to Nigerian people. And when it comes to business, see, we are the most thriving economy in the world. And Nigeria being the great economy, which is based on natural resources like gas, and petroleum. So there is wide opportunities of doing business, but due to some constraint when it comes to internal security and other matters of national security and agendas of better trade connectivity, are some of the hindrance when it comes to slower trade in volumes. But I believe in the last few years, we have seen wider development of trade relations, whether it's business to business, whether it's state intervention in the business and economy. We see, and the Prime Minister's visit to Nigeria is in itself a true fact that we stand with the economy of Nigeria as a trusted partner since last many years.
Now let's talk a bit about BRICS. Of course, India is a part of BRICS. And tell us a bit of some of the benefits that India has had by joining BRICS, and if you think that Modi, Prime Minister Modi, might be able to influence President Tinubu, of course, politically to join.
BRICS has been a great partnership and provided India's role in making of African Development Bank. Perhaps even as the presidential of G20, India has provided its hand in making Africa as the partner in the G20 nations, which is the largest grouping. When it comes to BRICS, it has its own aura. It has a different identity when it comes to world stage, and we believe that the trade between the BRICS nations has made a great thrive in last 5 years. And given the Nigerian role in the BRICS nations and relations with India, I believe this would be a great partnership when it comes to building businesses there and trade vice versa.
So what are some of the benefits? Yeah, that's the first part to the question. What are some of the benefits that you think that India enjoys by joining BRICS?
The benefits are really clear. We believe that we being the developing economy and Nigeria also being a thriving economy as well, we believe that the experiences we have gained in development of India can help Nigeria in many ways. And perhaps when it comes to getting benefits of joining any international partnership, every international partnership has its unique identity, and I assure that we have great things to understand here. That first of all, if you see agriculture of India, it has gone from since last many years, the agriculture economy has thrived in India, and today Nigeria is facing some agriculture crisis, as I believe, and now we are importing many UAVs from China, and they are being utilized in the agriculture economy to ensure that we are technically ahead when it comes to growth of agriculture industry. Similarly, in the ICT sector, we are the primary importer of semiconductors, where China has a great role to play. In terms of Russia, we are importing largest amount of oil and other natural resources. So the relation between BRICS and the wider BRICS and India is indeed very beneficial to India, as I experience as shares.
All right. Of course, India is a trusted defense manufacturer, and one of the biggest collaborations that was talked about in this meeting between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Enugu is the collaboration that we look forward to in the area of counter-terrorism. Now, do tell us, how do you think that that would help us combat insecurity in the country here?
Our government has put a lot of focus on Made in India and Make in India initiative, which ensures that industry has a leading role to play when it comes to manufacturing of essential products in the defense sector. We have opened up our private sector and also employed the public sector to help and support private sector to develop and manufacture certain systems which the private sector can have in the long term. For example, when it comes to air defense system, the private players are providing great role in the development of air defense systems. Similarly goes to artillery, and we have been the largest player in providing trucks, military trucks, to African nations. So we may be the recent nation which has put so much efforts into indigenization of the defense sector, but given our role in the South Asian continent, we are thriving to provide this boost and share these benefits to the African nations, including Nigeria.
All right, Mr. Shantanu Bansal, we will keep the conversation here. And of course, as we progress in this ties that India and Nigeria shares, of course, and the rich culture between our people and your people, would have to always talk about this. But this is developing, and we hope that the Prime Minister's visit will beyond talk, get into action, and that the two countries will enjoy a great friendship. Thank you so much, Mr. Shantanu Bansal, founder of Indian Aerospace Defense News, for joining me tonight on Afia TV News. It was a great delight having you here.
Thank you.
And just before we go, here's a recap of the top stories. Enugu Chamber of Commerce and State Revenue Service hosts first interactive forum on tax matters. On the national news, Senate approves Tinubu's fresh $2.2 billion loan request. In business, Keyamo unveils special marshals to boost airport standards and curb misconduct. On the foreign scene, International Criminal Court issues arrest warrant for Israel Prime Minister Netanyahu over war crimes in Gaza. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on Afia TV News, and on behalf of the entire production team, I am Amazing Grace Ajayi. Thank you so much and good night.